Yeah. What's
Okay.
up, Dallas?
So,
It's been a long road, right?
yes, sir.
It's been 5 years doing
That's how
this.
long you been? 5 years?
Yeah, it's been since I joined. I mean, this is the where we started. It's essentially me and Jared met here, 2020 when everything shut down. So it's been 5 years now. We in 2025, and I first met you in actually 2020. So I came to the farm, and we were doing like a farm day. So that was pretty cool. I did the grilling though. I didn't even touch no farm work that day. I was a grill master. Did
That's
a
right.
lot of
Yeah.
food that day.
Yeah, right.
I didn't even see the chickens. So I was working with the chickens the whole time. I didn't even get to see it.
Right.
But yeah, guys, this is start of a new podcast. Let's talk legacy. Let's go with voices of legacy, and here we go to talking about how we started Triple J Farm and where it all began, and how we go like our next steps and what we're doing in the future. So yeah, what made you even go into farming, Granddad?
Well, I started off with a few chickens, and I lived in South Carolina for a while. And the farm I went to was named Windsor, and bought a farm in Windsor, New York.
Yeah.
And started with a few chickens and a cow. Now I've grown up to 600 chickens, and see what we're going to do from here.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like your childhood, like, did you do farming when you was a kid?
No, I went to my aunt's farm, and they had a cotton farm.
Yeah.
And I worked there. I worked there for a week, picking cotton, and for a whole week I picked 10 pounds of cotton
That was a car
Wow.
working all day though.
all day for a whole week.
So you got some history. You used to work picked up 10 pounds of cotton in where was this?
In McClendonsville, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Yeah, McClendonsville.
So then you then started your own family. How did you meet your wife?
Wow. Well, that's true. Oh, wow. Oh, I met her. Oh, she was waiting for a friend of hers. I was a boyfriend,
Yeah.
but I met her on the corner and I asked her, where are you going? She said, I'm going to the movie. My boyfriend going to pick me up. I said to her, I says, no, he's not going to show. I said, if you don't show, well, let me be your boyfriend.
Oh wow.
She said, think about
Bold.
it. I think about it. So I saw her a week later and I asked her, did your boyfriend show? She says, no. I said, what about me? She said, I'll let you know. And her sister said, tell him no, tell him no, tell him no. So she said, yes, you could be my boyfriend.
Just because her sister was
Yeah.
agging it on? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But for what, 76 years? It was 67 years.
67 years.
67 years we were married.
Wow.
67 years.
So then you guys started a family out in the polo grounds?
No.
No?
I lived on 120th Street. She lives on 131st Street in Lenox Avenue.
Yeah.
And it's going to see on Lenox Avenue there. On 132nd Street in Lenox Avenue.
Yeah, so when you started living in the polo grounds, what was that?
I had 3 kids, 3 children,
3 kids.
and was living in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So we got into the project, had 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
Yeah, 3 bedrooms. And we lived there for about 10, 12 years.
And then what made you decide you wanted to move out?
No, we moved over to still in the polo grounds.
To the polo ground?
To the polo grounds. We lived in Grant housing for about 12, 15 years. Then we moved into the polo grounds to a bigger apartment.
Yeah.
Because we had 7 kids. And we needed 5 bedrooms.
Wow. That's a
So
lot of
we
kids.
had 5 bedrooms at the polo grounds. I lived there for about 35 years. Then figured it's time to get out of there. So we bought the place in Windsor, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I started the farm there. Not at first, but a couple of years later. We started the farm.
Started the farm side. Because first you was living with the kids, just taking them to school locally. And then who was the first to move out?
Out of that, Jimmy.
Jimmy moved out.
Jimmy was first to move out. And then Eugenia.
And Gina.
And Leola.
And then Leola.
Yeah. Then Michelle moved out.
And Michelle moved out.
Yeah. And
then you took everybody else's kids in.
Yeah, I took my son's kids, and I took Tamella's 3 girls.
Yeah.
Auntie Michelle's 3 girls.
Yeah, 3 girls. Raised those 3 girls. And who else I took? I took in Jimmy. Or 3 kids, right? 4 kids.
9 kids?
5 kids.
5
kids. 5 kids.
So Jimmy had 5 kids. Raised them
5. And that's
all in that farmhouse. Over how many years you been there so far?
Oh, about 12, 13 years.
12, 13 years.
Yeah.
And everybody moved out.
Yeah, everybody moved out.
Yeah. And then
my wife passed away, and so
yeah,
I'm there.
Now you're still there, still living.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then out of Eugenia's kids was Jared.
Jared.
What how'd you get involved with Granddaddy?
I got involved when when Granddaddy moved to Windsor. Uncle Jimmy had moved to Pennsylvania, and they were doing something. Granddad told me that they was trying to start a dog kennel and stuff like that. So, Granddad always used to come to the church once a month, AME Metropolitan Church, and we used to get eggs from him.
Mm.
And everyone used to brag about his eggs and how big they were and how delicious they were. And I think one day, I told Granddad, "Hey, Granddad, I can give you some more chickens." I was like, "How much more chickens would you want?" He's like, 20, 30, whatever. So I got him like 20, 30 more chickens. And he's doing his thing, selling to his people in his church. And I remember specifically when I remember at the time him and Uncle Jimmy, they were doing the dog kennel. I think he was doing stuff with his neighbor. And he told me that Justin found a girlfriend, and I think he left some more chickens to Granddad.
Yeah, 75 chickens.
Yeah, he left 75 chickens to Granddad. He gave him some of the Granddad, and then he had his flock.
So you had 100 total at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So about 100 total. So, and that's pretty much what it was. I just wanted to help him out, give some more chickens. I found the interest in it just because of the business side of things.
Yeah.
And then from there, he just started continuing to sell his chickens from his farm to his church.
His church.
And I think when we really got involved was I remember when it was me, my cousin Sean, and my cousin Tamela. We used to do these like weekly calls once a week.
Okay.
And we're trying to like just figure out ways we can help Granddad because we seen what he was doing. Obviously, when Uncle Jim passed, we wanted to make sure that there was someone still helping him out because I know him and Uncle Jimmy was going back and forth for certain things, and Uncle Jimmy used to have all these crazy ideas and get Granddad to invest and stuff like that. So we wanted to make sure that there was something that he can still keep up with. And then obviously there was a point where, we found out that Granddad invested a bunch of money with our cousin Hank, and we tried to figure out a way where, Hank could do some work around the house and around the barn to make sure that we can preserve the land and preserve the house.
For sure.
During that time when we were doing meetings, unfortunately Hank passed. He passed away.
Mm.
Him and his son, unfortunately, and one of his workers got into a car accident. And, unfortunately we could never recover that money that Granddad invested in him to be able to put back into the house. So I think that's when we try to get more involved because, all right, now there's, one side of it, there's obviously money that was exchanged to help, rebuild this house. And the other side, obviously, we just lost a family member. So that's just a tough spot to be in general.
Yeah.
So we tried to figure out other ways. And the one thing that we thought about was, selling his trees. And in the time we were thinking about selling his trees so we can put back into the house, Granddad unfortunately found these people that were going to, take down these trees for him. And they weren't the right people, the right types of people. So Unfortunately took advantage of him as a elderly man. They took all his trees, took the money that he would have made from those trees,
Yeah.
and then we wound up finding the company, and the company wound up coming like a week later and told them, "Hey, all the trees that you had that was worth something, that company just took down and ran off." And I think they wound up catching.
We caught them and went to jail, but I never recovered any money part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, because you hired a sheriff, right?
Yeah.
To find them.
Yeah, so he never recovered any money from it. So again, another situation where invested his time or trusted somebody, and unfortunately that didn't work out. So I think there's a lot of moments where I think I got involved more because I think just my grandfather in general. There's a lot of moments where he's given a lot to his family. He's given a lot to people. Very trusting man, and he's doesn't do contracts or anything. It's just more about your word.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that can just get his kindness can be taken, advantage for granted, and that's kind of the situation that happened. So I think that's where I wanted to get more involved, even more, because one, I didn't want that to happen ever again, and then two, I wanted to make sure that all the work that he put in all his life, that he gets to see the fruits of his labor. So, it started with just one idea of, all right, let's really take this to another level where he's selling his eggs to his church, but let's see if we can get a buyer.
And then all of a sudden we scaled in 2020 to what? It's 500, 600 chickens immediately.
Yeah, but there's a lot more before that.
Yeah, all right, tell me what happened before that. Well, like at the point where I got involved, like what was happening? What was like the bridge point between you two?
Well, my other grandson Darryl, we bought about 75 hens from another lady, so we had about 250 hens.
Yeah.
Chickens, and we had in different coops. And then Jared got into with another fellow that we was buying eggs from, and we bought all his hens and his barn, his two coop.
Two coops.
And his two coop.
Yeah, so that's when so I remember that now.
You remember that?
So I remember we went. No, there was a couple of stuff. So yes, it was me, Sean, and Tamela that was involved.
Yeah.
And then Darryl wound up coming upstate.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just became me, Darryl, and Granddad. So we bought some chickens from that lady that Granddaddy talked about, and then we went to another farm.
Yeah.
And we bought some chickens from him, and then things started scaling. I don't even remember who I think the only person that we started really servicing was Miriam.
Okay.
Yeah, then your mother at the hospital.
Yeah, so it was like Miriam, who owns Brown Butter in Brooklyn on Tompkins Street. And then it was my mom.
The bakery.
Who's it?
The lady at the bakery.
Oh, yes. It was, but that's when you got involved, when she was the one at the bakery in
Sweet Spot, Brooklyn Sweet Spot?
Yeah.
You was actually selling eggs there?
Yeah, we were selling eggs.
Oh, so you weren't?
No, I didn't. Okay. All I knew was hers was the drop-off point. I didn't know you was getting eggs.
Oh, okay, yeah. So before that, it was Brooklyn Sweet Spot. It was Miriam, Brown Butter. It was my mom, and we were just serving those eggs. And then I guess before you got involved too, I was doing the deliveries. No, I was doing the first Sundays at Brown Butter.
Oh, okay.
So but that's when COVID happened. So we ran that story. I was when you went. Darryl was getting eggs from this guy, and then he under retired out of the field. So we wanted to buy his whole flock with like 500 chickens. I think it was like he had 2 sheds. Wanted to buy an ATV from him, a bunch of feeders, a bunch of stuff. I think that was the one that gave us the connect on the feed as well. Narrow's bird feed. So we got a lot from that. And that's kind of like how it kind of scaled. But COVID is technically when the business started really scaling and it's taking off.
And our first major client was Brooklyn Grange at the time, because they was the first ones to get 200 dozens every single week during that time of COVID, when their customers scaled up. And they again followed after that with word of mouth, right?
Yeah. Like I said, it's so much to go back on, but it's, it really started once, COVID happened, the world shut down. um, everyone started questioning where they're getting their food from.
Right.
And, it was farm to table was really big. People were like spray sanitizing their groceries, where it came from.
Lysol in the grocery is crazy.
And, I'm like, well, we got eggs. But it's just straight from a farm. Why not, give these eggs to these people? So Granddad was still going to church, once a month. But I think church got shut down, but we were still getting the eggs from him, and I just started to hang out. I started to post on Brown Butter's website because she had a little poster of Granddad with his eggs there. And people kept asking her, hey, where do you get your eggs? Where do you get your eggs? So she was using her breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was like, hey, girl, can we, just sell the eggs that are in your breakfast sandwiches, since everyone was asking? So that's what I did. Like a little bit before COVID, where I used to post up, have people come in. I used to grab the eggs for Granddad at church, come in, and people used to grab the eggs. So when COVID happened, obviously, church got shut down. The Brown Butter it was on takeout only.
Yeah,
So I was trying to figure out a way to still provide eggs from people. So at the time, me and my then girlfriend, now fiance Bianca, we were doing Instacart during COVID. And Instacart had this like little feature where it was a contactless delivery.
Yeah.
So you used to drop off the groceries and take a picture of it and told the person, hey, your
Groceries are dead. Yep.
So I don't know. I was just doing it one day, and we did it just to make some extra money to help out the elderly and just to pass time. And when I was going, that idea came up, and I was like, "Wow, this is smart. How about we just get this for Granddad's egg?" There's a little extra something for him at the time, and I was like, people need eggs, and I think this is cool. So I got a bunch of eggs from him, and anybody that needed eggs, I was sending them on Instagram, and they were like, oh, I need 2 dozen, I need this, I need that. And I did the same thing, because started going house to house, door to door, delivering their eggs, taking a picture of it. They used to send me a cash app, and that was it. We did that for about a month or two.
Yeah.
And then George Floyd happened in Minnesota, and then that's when everything took over.
Mm. Yeah, people started looking at black farming. You was like, yo, would you like to create a website? I said, all right, I'll do it. And then people started hitting up orders. Our first order, like officially on the website, was 100 dozens.
Really?
100 people were like, yo, I want to buy eggs. And that was a lot of deliveries to do. We had to split it. He did Upper Manhattan and the Bronx, and I did all of Brooklyn, Red Dream. And I was like, and we did it. It was like, well, let's continue doing this. But then as soon as we hit that first major client, we were like, all right, we ain't going to continue this. Our jobs are starting back up. Let's try to focus on that and, continue the business, but like on a lower level, just by focusing on one person. And then after that, we scaled up, right? Scaled up to a bunch of chickens, but I still never seen the chickens. And I was just getting the eggs, and me and my wife, we were washing the eggs in the basement. And then one day I was like, hey, like, what's going on with the actual eggs? Because people were getting like complaints. And I was like, okay, let's focus on our operations now. So once we actually took a look at the operations, Jared was like, let's buy some more chickens. Let's continue to scale up. Right? What did we do that day? We bought 300 chickens.
Oh, from the guy?
Yeah. How did you find that guy?
I think, again, the interesting thing about farming is once you're part of this community, it's like you just get connections to, like, you don't even know where you get these connections. And it's you're part of this community, and then all of a sudden, like, these things pop up. And I think going back to like where the Black Lives Matter thing happened, where there was just like this rush for everyone to get involved with Black businesses.
Yeah.
And us being not just a Black business, not just being a farm, but a Black-owned farm, I think that's the part that made us really unique. And because of that, so many people started reaching out, and you just got involved in so many different conversations. So, I don't know. I don't even know how I met him, but it was through a connection probably. It was through an email, it was through word of mouth. It was, I think our best relationship came from word of mouth, from people just reaching out. One of those relationships is Abu, man. COVID. He was a butcher out in Queens, and he just hit us up on Instagram because he couldn't find anybody else reliable to get eggs from. and we wanted to be able to service him some eggs, and the relationship grew from there. Same thing with Broken Grain. Same thing with a lot of these youths. So I think the guy that we got those 300 chickens from was just through a relationship, through word of mouth.
Yeah, 2023 is when Booth officially opened up his store in Astoria. So we started solely just giving him the eggs, not going to nobody's houses. You skip that phase of our life. As far as the company, it's just solely him. People came to his storefront and started buying from him because they enjoyed it. And then we noticed that if you're gonna do this as far as like servicing people, we want to service business owners now. And with Abu, he started spreading out our name around, and it was like we found more connections. Like through Connected Chef was through Abu. So it's like, hey, let's buy eggs from him since you're buying eggs from him. And I just hit him up and I was like, hey, I got an order for you right now. He took it. And then another word of mouth person over this past summer 2024 was No Las Regular Master out of Ithaca. That was our first time being out of Ithaca. And she bought 1,000 dozens from us for a month, and that was our whole supply. So that was really good word of mouth. And then the next person who we're servicing now is Chow. And that was through email. They looked up online, finding black farms or farms nearby in Binghamton. And then, but that's a persistence, like, when people out in Binghamton, they're kind of slow, to get you. But once, like, I actually visit them in person, told them about us, told them what we've been doing, they're like, oh yeah, well, we would like to buy from you. Found out what pool of money they could buy from, because grants is like such a next level. We just got in, and right now they're our most consistent client we ever had. Every single week, 300 dozens. So that's great. So yeah, what's like one of the biggest lessons or takeaways you could say you took away from farming? And what's one of your biggest lessons you could say that you took away from farming?
I don't know, that it can be profitable in a sense. And we also had a nice contract with the Taste New York.
Yeah,
That was one of what's the black museum in Brooklyn.
Bundy Museum.
Bundy Museum. He used to take ads there. We got 30 dozen there. Every 2 weeks. Every week. Is that every week?
Pretty much every week.
Every week. And started from there. And when I went to Taste the York people were standing outside waiting for the eggs.
Yeah,
So I'm glad you brought the eggs. We were working here.
yeah.
So that's how everything got really going.
Well, the goal is definitely to get them back, get all those people back. Because, yeah, we found out our kinks. We had some struggles during as a building and scaling as a business owner, and then realizing that, you know what, it's better to focus on the product. So what did we do to focus on the product? We built a whole new barn. That was a journey. How long did it take, Granddad?
2 days.
2 days. It took a week to build a whole barn. Came out every single day, you see a whole new structure done. Why do you think it was important to build an actual structure especially during this time?
Well, I think it was important just because, when scaling the business, obviously, what we going back to your first question, what we learned is you got to have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I think having the ideas are important. I think having the vision is important, but if you don't have the proper infrastructure and foundation, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
And a building, literal and figuratively, is the foundation of your business if you're doing farming. So I think having the right type of infrastructure is important. I think one of the biggest lessons that we learned was, you can have all the clients, you can have all the money, you can invest all the money, you can have all the clients, but if you don't have the right infrastructure of business won't be as profitable as you want it, and won't scale up as fast, but you won't see the longevity. So I think the building was important because it was the foundational piece that we kind of build off of after we've learned so many things what not to do.
For sure.
Things that we learned from other farmers what to eat. I think a lot of people have been very influential in like how we scale this. I think one of the first people that gave us a lot of good advice was Cornell's agriculture school. They helped us out a lot. I remember they came to the farm one day. They kind of like surveyed and gave us a lot of ideas. And that's, I think at the time we had the contract with Taste, and they were just telling us a bunch of stuff we should do, shouldn't do, stuff like that. Um, and then, um, and then obviously getting involved with Pot Liquor Capital.
For sure.
They helped us out a lot, and then Carlos helped us out as a TA, and it got us involved with, obviously the guys that we had working with, Ruben and Dan, to help us with the barn. So I think the barn is just a byproduct of all the things that we've learned over the years on how to actually do this business the right way.
Yeah. I mean, some people might have concerns or just saying like, oh, you can't get from your farm and things like that. Why do you think it's important for us to actually start sourcing from other farmers who have like-minded, efforts when it comes to farming?
Because we can't service everybody. I think, the biggest thing to farming is labor and having, the right types of people do the work. It would be great if, we had 15, 20, 30 employees, but we don't.
No, we don't.
The first employees are the granddad, of course.
Yeah.
You one that was picking up the eggs and washing them, and then we grew, it was granddad, and then Daryl. And then we had Daryl, and then we had one of Sean's friends growing up, Sean. Yep, his name's Sean, rest in peace, Sean. Then we had Glenn, Sean's uncle, at the farm. Taj. And we just had a bunch of people.
Bunch of people are hired in Binghamton.
For sure. A bunch of people hired in Binghamton. So turnover is definitely high when it comes to farming because the work is not easy. I think in order for us to really make a big impact, you have to start outsourcing. And then we still want to service the people that, we service, but I think outsourcing with other farmers that are like us, and I think that's how we really with the story, with the name, you reach a mass amount of people.
Yeah, building the brand is definitely the next step, and building it with the like-minded farmers. Is actually going to them, meeting them, talking with them, because again, a lot of thing about this whole thing is about food security and where our food comes from. Who we don't know the farmers, but they know us, right? People throughout all of Brooklyn, when I talk to them, like, "Oh, you Triple J Farm?" I didn't know that, right? Because remember when we went to the dinner this past year, everyone was like, "Oh, we love your eggs. We know you." Right. But then, they actually didn't know you at that time. So it's like actually seeing you was like very important. Seeing you at Brooklyn Gray's dinner. So yeah, things like that is definitely like the next step for us. What else is the next step?
I think the next step is continuing to preserve, the Minton legacy, continue to preserve the land. Continue to, I think, continue to share the message of, working with family, creating generational wealth, making farmers black again.
Yeah.
And how we're going to continue to spread this message. And I think Granddad's story, I think his story is unbelievable, where the coincidence of him working at a plantation called Windsor and him living in Windsor and, raising, 7 kids and 40 plus grandkids and 23 something great grands.
We got 50 great good.
Great. I mean, this keeps going on and on. So, like, I think his story is unbelievable. My grandmother's story is unbelievable. Our family story is unbelievable. It should all be documented. It should all be spread. And I think a lot, again, going back to that first thing as, him always working for his family, him always giving back to his family, him always having his, like, verbal agreements with people, and unfortunately not seeing a return on that. I think, this is finally a return, but it's going to be 10x of what probably he would have thought it was.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. And it's I think we're blessed to still have him here, where you can see a lot of this stuff start and continue to scale.
Especially knowing that's in good hands. I mean, like I'll give my everything to this because I enjoy seeing that we could build something on it every single time. Like I touch my hands into the ground or come up with a new idea. I'm glad to be a part of it. Again, this is not like something I was like, I have a second idea. Like I could like do this on the side. No, it's like I'm putting my all into it because just seeing you put your all every single day with me, staying there co-laboring with me, where we have to like I have to watch these 100 dozens today. You're like, I'm coming. I was like, okay, come. Just enjoy the time, spend the time. Because we did that so many times throughout this summer where we had to hand wash our eggs. Because again, we didn't come up with all this. No one gave this to us. We built it every single day, coming up with new ideas. We try to find the easiest way we could do it. And I think that the next step, especially on the farm, is to build something like a structure that supports the entire operation that's going to allow everything to be so much smoother. And the hope is that people get to invest and, invest into us, know that, again, we put our hands into this for the past up to years and we want to be able to be successful in farming, but it takes a lot more than just, doing the actual work every day. Um, Right now, I want to honor you as you being a good man. I mean, in the Bible, it says a good man is those who leave inheritance for their children's children. And you are obviously evident of that because granddad is your children's child. All right. Eugenia's kid is Jared and SJ is his kid. So like, again, I honor you as you being, that man for us and being that example for the generations to come. Is there any words that you would like to leave for anybody that comes after us, after SJ, that's going to surpass everyone, like knowing that this is the foundation? Or is there something that you would like to say, a message to them?
Oh, not really. I think that Jared and you, and I think within the two of you, when I passed away, I think the two of you will help carry this family to Britain. Like, that's not it. I'm 89 years old,
Yeah,
and I'll be 90 in August. So I don't know how much longer I'll be here, but as long as I'm here and working with you guys, and you guys working with me, I think we'll make it.
for sure. Give me one liner word or message for your family, like that's like, hey, guys, do this, or I want you guys to remember this.
I think. Oh, I know.
It's okay.
I really don't have to do it, but I know when I'm going, I think between Jared and you would carry this to the next level. And I hope one of my other grandkids, or great grand, for chicken and help do the work. And give a hand to see what's going on.
You should.
I put it
Any parting words, Jake?
Yeah, I think yeah, just like Endel said, I want to give you your flowers. I love you a lot, and I admire you and the work that as I got older, realizing how hard it is to raise one kid, let alone seven, and raise so many other your kids, and things that you and grandma have done for our family, and whether it's the trips or the summers that speed graphics, or just always being that
family or you.
and yep, and the Mavericks. You guys are the Mavericks of our family, and everyone always came to your house for Thanksgivings and Christmases and stuff like that. Like, I didn't realize how big it was until obviously I started my own family, and obviously when you guys moved from the Cola Grounds to Windsor, I think everyone felt like they lost that, but then we created a new thing in Windsor, and I think that I still have a lot of memories before even this farm stuff, where whether it's 4th of July or the memorials or all that stuff, and it's just been great. It's been great to see. It's been great to be a part of, and then I hope I could be half the man that you are, and I want to continue the legacy for you. And I think the only thing that I would say for my family is to make sure that everyone knows that granddad has done a lot, and just everyone do their part, whether it's reposting something on Instagram,
Right.
it's coming to the farm or spending time with him or spending time with anybody. I think at the end of the day, as long as you're a Minton and your name's attached to this family, you're gonna be good. And the house is for the family. It's for us to continue the convict base, for us to continue to build new traditions and start more businesses and do what everybody else is doing.
For sure.
Our family's big enough where, we could do whatever we want or put our mind to it. So I think he's already laid the foundation. There's nothing else for him to do.
Yeah.
And we just gotta continue to, raise the bar and make sure the next generation knows the work that he put in. And I think you doing this is great. Just documenting these things. I've tried to, document the journey as we want. We have the documentary out.
Yeah.
Had a lot of publication. We were blessed to have a lot of publications.
A lot of people came
story,
came in
from
interviews on interviews.
Yeah, for sure. So I think all those things are just indications of, are going to highlight who Granddad was, who Wilhelmina Mentor was, and who our family was. And now it's time for the next generation to do their history. And they're going to do what they want with it, but it's just the best thing to be a part of it, to be honest with you.
Sure. Yeah, today is we took a video debuting with our new line of merches. I mean, we've had Black Farmer merch for so long, but we haven't been able to move on. It just based on the other projects we have, and I think that this, like, having a more lifestyle street brand is something that everyone is in tune with. So Black Farmer merch is definitely new, so definitely check it out. We'll have posted a link in the bio. But yeah, definitely. This was a good talk, and I hope to document soon more things to come as you're still here. But Granddad, if you ever think of a one-liner word that you want to share with the actual family, besides us carrying on the legacy, I know that's something you enjoy. You're blessed to. I know you feel like you're blessed to have us around, but something that you want to, like, definitely carry on for other, like I say, like when SJ grows up, she understands all of this. What is something you want to tell her?
Well, they will see what I've done in my life.
Yeah.
Don't copy what I do. Do better. Do it better. And I think you'll be okay.
That's good, Max. That's good, Max. All right, guys. So that's it. That's it. That's the end.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. They're good, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for the record.
What's up? Chickens? How many chickens?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you going to count to 600?
Yeah.
Okay. There's 600 chickens at the farm? There's 600 chickens?
The 600 chicken.
Yes. Who has the best eggs?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
What about Granddaddy's eggs? His eggs good too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You eat them every morning?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Eat the with the bread.
You eat them with the bread?
Yeah.
Okay. And you also eat the syrup too, right?
Bacon.
With bacon?
Yeah.
And then syrup?
Yeah.
Nice.
And with the scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. When you want to go back to the farm?
Today.
Okay. Go back today, okay.
Okay.
Go give Granddaddy a hug. Over there. Give him a big hug.
You don't give me a big hug. Oh, okay. Big hug. Oh.